Last 3 games, and look at this. This is just incredible. Wow. Pretty good, isn't he? He's really good.
So Bobby Witt Jr. makes the insane play at short, and then he gets some high praise from Hall of Famer and Kansas City legend George Brett. So if George Brett is saying that you're really good, I'm going to believe him. I think that Bobby's going to be really good. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. A few walk-off home runs from yesterday. Mad Max unfortunately left the game with an injury. We're going to talk about if he's going to be okay going forward or if the Mets are going to be losing him along with Tyler McGill and Jacob deGrom. Bobby Witt Jr. not only flexed the glove yesterday, but also the bat. A quick reminder, if you're going to any baseball games anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. All right, let's talk about the Braves and the Brewers. Corbin Burnes is going to throw a shutout. I can almost guarantee it. Yeah, okay, never mind. Austin Riley absolutely torched this 3-run home run, and then Ozuna makes it back-to-back home runs. But here comes the Brewers. They pick up 2 runs in the 4th, courtesy of Tyrone Taylor and Rowdy Tellez. Then Mike Brasso delivers with an RBI double in the 6th, so it's a 4-3 ball game when Colton Wong, he is the final hitter for the Brewers. He's got to get it done, and he ties it up. Kenley Jansen, he hasn't really imploded since the first week of the season, so he's been really good. Yesterday he was shaky, and we need extra innings where we head to the 11th, where something special happened. Keston Kjerstad, he has been struggling. He's been going up and down the last few seasons. So that walk-off nuke must have felt really good. So congratulations, Brewers fans. Hopefully this is a turning point for Mr. Hira. All right, the Rangers and the Angels, there is no way that the Halos lose this game, right? Because if they do, that means they got swept by the Rangers. So that's a good start. Look at Jared Walsh going yard. And then even better, Mike Trout goes yard, and the best news is Ohtani is on the bump, and he was dealing, well, until the 4th when he had an RBI single to Jonah Heim, and then Jonah gets to him again in the 6th inning, so the game is tied at 2 runs apiece. Ohtani leaves after 6 innings, and Brad Miller says, thanks guys, I appreciate that. He barrels up this one nearly 400 feet off of Mayers, and look who does it again versus his former team. Cole Calhoun has destroyed the Angels in this series, so it's 4-2 going into the final innings when former first overall pick Matt Bush was brought in to try and close this game out, but Walsh said, nah, we're good. This one barely gets out, but it leaves. We need free baseball, and the Halos score on a bad throw from third baseman Andy Ibanez. It's not looking too great. Spirits were low. Get it? Because Nate Lowe walks it off with a pimp job, and I just really feel like the Rangers have been playing a lot better as of late, and when you can sweep a team like the Angels, I feel like that says more about the Rangers than the Angels. I think the Rangers are underappreciated right now because their offense has been struggling. Marcus Semien had 3 hits, so if they can get some pitching, the Rangers can make some noise. Those were the 2 walk-off home runs from yesterday. Let's go ahead and move on to the Nationals and the Marlins, because after this game, we have to talk about whether or not their superstar franchise player is going to get traded. So the Nationals have a tough task of facing the ERA king, Pablo Lopez, but look at them. They were up for the challenge. 1 scores on a wild pitch, and more end up scoring later, but I do have to show off Jazz Chisholm. He uses his speed to rope his league best 3rd triple, and then he legs out another run on a sac fly from Jesus Aguilar. He is a special talent. We'll talk about him a little bit more later on. And as I mentioned, the Nationals were up for the challenge, and they pop off for a few more runs in the top of the 2nd. So we go to the 5th, where Miami, they need 1 run to tie it, and Jazz Chisholm Jr. does it. He might be my favorite player to watch in all of baseball right now because Akil Baddoo is, in obscurity. I don't know where Baddoo went. Lane Thomas got hit in the 8th with the bases loaded, but then Jazz is able to score again on another sac fly. He uses his wheels in the bottom of the 9th. The Nationals got a free run courtesy of the runner on second rule, but the Mariners also have an opportunity, just they can't capitalize. So Victor Rano has been spectacular for the Nationals. He notches his first save, and let's go and talk about Juan Soto, because the Nationals, it was reported that they're compelled because of how bad they've been. They haven't been horrific, but they are not a good baseball team, so they've been compelled and motivated to try and move Juan Soto. Juan Soto is going to get $350 to $400 million, and as you guys can see by this stat right here, only 2 players have ever had 100-plus home runs, 400-plus walks, and 500-plus hits in their first 500 games. Ted Williams and Juan Soto. So this little super thanks from Star Wars fan telling me to call out Juan Soto. You're basically telling me to call out Ted Williams. That's not fair. Let's move on to the Phillies and the Padres. Blake Snell is finally back from injury, and the Phillies welcomed him back with a few walks in the first and then a JT Realmuto single up the middle. Rhys Hoskins says, that's not enough, guys. He gets his barrel through the zone, and he drives this one 370 feet over the left field wall. Snell kept on battling, but it just wasn't enough. He didn't have it. Odubel has a double to make it 3-0, and Zach Wheeler somehow made pitching look easy. 9 punch-outs in 7 shutout innings, and the Phillies defense, I mean, I don't remember the last time I said this, but the Phillies defense made a few sparkling plays. And look at them. You have one from Alec Boehm, one from Rhys Hoskins. Corey Knebel doesn't K anyone, but he has a much-needed 1-2-3 inning for his 8th save of the year. The Phillies are 6-4 over their last 10 games, but they're still 6 games back of the Mets. So let's talk about the Mets real quick. Jeff McNeil will not stop driving in runs. He makes it 2-0, and then the future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols wants to make sure that he keeps adding to his career stats. He drives in 2 of his own. He collects another hit later on, so he passes Collins for the 10th most hits ever, not even just first basemen, by a hitter. Albert's teammates did not have the same luck, and then the Mets, they go off and do some damage in the bottom of the 5th inning. They were up for 4 runs on 2 different singles and a few different sac flies. Then things got a little bit scary because Mad Max has to take himself out of the game with a side injury.
But I don't feel like I really ripped it, like, kind of say it. I felt like it just got worse. So hopefully I got out of there quick enough to prevent, a major injury.
He thinks that he avoided a serious side injury, but I mean, when you have Tyler McGill, Mad Max, and Jacob deGrom possibly on the shelf, that is a bad sign. So hopefully he's all right. Nolan Arenado belts his 9th home run. He has 31 RBIs and a wild 179 OPS plus. Then that swing must have awoken the Mets again because they scored 2 right before. I almost said Big Meat Pete. That is a weird nickname. Don't use that. Polar Bear Pete hits his 9th home run. He leads everyone with 33 RBIs, and the Mets are now 25-14. All right. The Rays and the Tigers. Randy Arozarena takes a walk with the bases loaded, and Francisco Mejia peppers one for 2 more RBIs. He's hitting 295 with 13 doubles and a 131 OPS plus as a switch-hitting catcher. You can't really find that aside from who? I don't know. Not even Tucker Barnhart. I mean, really, Victor Martinez as a switch-hitting catching option. So there you go. We have another pitcher leaving the game early. Erod Eduardo, he calls out the trainer and has to leave after just a 1/3 of an inning. And look at Isaac Paredes versus his former team. He smashes this one 411 feet. More on him in just a second because Drew Rasmussen was incredible yet again. 5 scoreless, no walks, and had 7 strikeouts. Drew has a 2.67 ERA and a 2.96 FIP, both elite numbers since the beginning of 2021. He's been really good. He comes out and Torkelson says, thanks. He knocks this one out for his 4th home run. I'm hoping that he can get hot. And that one was in the top of the 7th. And staying with the 7th, G-Man Choi singles home Brett Phillips, and Isaac Paredes does it again. Good for him. 2 home runs versus his former team, which is kind of ironic because they traded for Austin Meadows. Austin Meadows, he's out right now. He has not hit a single home run through the season so far. The Royals and the White Sox, I'm hoping that we see Bobby Witt Jr., a little sighting from him. There's a Whit Merrifield RBI. He's been a machine since I called him out, and look, there he is. Bobby Witt Jr. hits this one 109 miles an hour, and he nearly sends it 440 feet. TA7 is back in the lineup after a former manager, Ozzie Guillen. He is now a kind of broadcaster analyst for the White Sox, says that Tim should be playing every single day, and Tim was not happy about that. Emmanuel Rivera out of nowhere now leads the American League in triples. This one brings home MJ Melendez, and speaking of MJ, no, not Mary Jane, MJ Melendez. He and Bobby Witt Jr. hit home runs in the same game for the first time of their young careers, and I just want to say the future is bright in Kansas City. The Twins, yeah, I feel the future's bright with Minnesota as well. Carlos Correa is back in the lineup. He gets on base, and then the bases are loaded for the Kraken. Gary, he has so much pop, he snaps his bat, and he gets this one to land for a 2 RBI single. Urshela that makes it 3-1, and the former Yankees drove in all of the first 4 runs, and the barrage picks up again in the 4th as Luis Arraez, I think this was his 300th career hit, so he picks up an RBI, and then Carlos Correa doubles in another one. Minnesota torched the opposite field all day long. Jorge Polanco must have felt left out, so he grabs an RBI, and then Ryan Jeffers as well as Nick Gordon join in on the fun. So that's a 9-run lead for Sonny Gray. He breezes through 6. He did give up 2, but he did not walk anyone, had 5 strikeouts, and the Twins end up with 3 more in the 9th just to be jerks. but I say good for them. The Twins have outscored opponents by 21 runs. That is the best in the AL Central. The Pirates and the Cubs. Ian Happ has been a completely different player since the second half of 2021. That's his third nuke of the year, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, they try to steal the treasure in the third inning. Yeah, that was an awful transition. I'm sorry. But they did score 2. Frank Schwindel comes up huge for the Cubs, and enter the hometown kid. He's on the Pirates, but Jack Sawinski was born in Chicago. All of his family was in attendance, and look at him. They saw him live in person ripping the go-ahead home run in the 5th, and David Bednar comes in for another multi-inning relief appearance. He has a .9 ERA and 8 saves on the year. He's incredible. The Rockies are trying to pick up their first W of the year versus the Giants. Chuck Nasty was trying very hard. He's kind of having a weird season because he has 7 doubles, 6 home runs. That's pretty good, but a .285 on base percentage and a .92 OPS plus, which means he's productive, but he's still a below average hitter. Brendan Rodgers finds the gap to knock in Ryan McMahon, and Logan Webb and the Giants fight back though. Logan at one point settled down 16 hitters in a row, and the offense takes a 3-2 lead. No scoring between the 5th and the 7th, but here comes Colorado. Daza plates Connor Joe to tie it at 3 runs apiece. An RBI machine, CJ Crone, wanted to make sure that his ancestors heard this one. They were very proud. 454 feet off the bat. He now has 40 doubles, 38 home runs, 122 RBIs over his last 180-ish games. Daniel Bard collects save numero Diaz, and the Rockies are going to be fighting all year long. They're not a great baseball team, but they do have that dog in them. The Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Freddie Freeman wants another 100 RBI campaign. He collects number 19 on this one. He gets it past the second baseman. He's now hitting .312 with a 157 OPS plus. Arizona tries to steal the momentum, but Justin Turner, JT takes it right back on this glorious 3-run shot, and he's starting to get hot. And I just wanted to note, he has a 133 OPS plus since 2014, so he has been really good. Gavin Lux has cooled off a bit from his scorching hot start, but he had an RBI double a few days ago. This RBI single, hopefully he can continue to see the ball better and better. And this was huge for Buehler and co, because Buehler didn't have his best start. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. So the bullpen is going to need to step up, and look at David Price. He gets 4 outs, 3 of them on the strikeout, and Daniel Hudson pitches a clean 9th, as they have now won 6 games in a row. Talking about the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. I think they've lost 5 or 6 in a row. The Red Sox and the Astros, they want payback after being embarrassed. Altuve was an absolute pest to begin the game. He went yard on the 10th pitch of this at-bat, and Boston fans were probably thinking, oh no, here we go again. Kyle Tucker then makes an insane catch. He robs JD Martinez of a home run, but JD still gets the RBI because it was a sac fly. Xander, why haven't they re-signed this guy yet? That's his 4th. He gives Pivetta the lead, and he gets more from Devers in the 3rd, and then Vasquez and Hernandez both single to push it to 5-1, as Pivetta at one point, just like Logan Webb, set down 16 plus. I think it was 18 hitters in a row he got out, and he's trying to go the distance. Aside from the Reed Detmers no-hitter, I don't think any pitcher has gone the distance for a complete game to begin 2022. Aside from, there he is, Mr. Nick Pivetta. 8 strikeouts, 2 hits for a complete game. He didn't walk anyone. That's big time. And also, real quick, I want to mention that Jake Odorizzi, nothing broke, nothing snapped. He had a small injury to his lower half, but I think he's going to be all right. So that's a good sign for Astros fans. The Yankees are looking for their 10th straight series win, and this is looking pretty good after Gleyber Torres shoots the gap for an RBI double, and Lyles and the Orioles hand-deliver 2 free runs on a silver platter. That just cannot happen. Anyways, Garrett Cole was cooking, folks, until the 6th when Yankee killer Austin Hayes, I think he has a plus 950 OPS in his career versus the Bronx Bombers. He pelts this baseball for an RBI double and then scores. They call it a fielder's choice. Clay Holmes is brought in to seal the deal, and he tosses 2 shutout innings. That's his 3rd save of the year. He has not allowed a run in his nearly 20 innings of work. So in 48 innings with the Yankees, he has a 1.12 ERA dating back to last year. They stole him from the Pirates. And the last but not least, the Mariners versus the Jays. Seattle loads the bases with nobody out. Jesse Winker lifts one for a sac fly, but that was it in the inning. A huge double play ends that jam. The Jays get the bases loaded as well, but just like the Mariners, they can only muster 1 run. Look at Cal Raleigh. Do not let him get hot. I know once upon a time when he was in the minors, he had a 23-game hitting streak, so he is a pretty solid option offensively as a catcher. He's just been struggling mightily. Marco Gonzalez looked really good aside from that rough 3rd inning. The Mariners pile on with 2 more home runs, a monster shot from Ty France, and then Abraham Toro. He just gets this one out, so the Jays fall to 8.5 games back of the Yankees. Still a ton of season season left, but the Mariners, they really needed this W. They're 7 games back of the Astros. So again, every single win going forward is going to be huge for them. But that is going to do it for today's recap. I wanted to give a quick shout out to 2 people. Look at Lorenzo with the big time super thanks. I really appreciate the extra support. Also, Aiden is cool. What do you say? This was the 4th day he was trying to get a shout out. So thank you to Lorenzen. Thank you to Aiden is cool. And everyone that leaves a super thanks. That means the world to me. And a year ago today, Corey Kluber, he joined history.
Ground ball to Gleyber Torres, and that'll do it. A no-hitter for Corey Kluber on a Wednesday night in Texas. Kluber